Next is public distribution system. Food procured by the FCI is distributed through government regulated ration shops to the poor sections of society. This is known as public distribution system. So now ration shops are present in all villages, towns and cities, and there are 5.5 lakh ration shops all over the country. Ration shops are also known as fair price shops. Their fair price shops keep the stock of food grains, sugar, oil, etc. and their items are sold at a price lower than the market price. Any family with a ration card can buy 35 kgs of rice, 5 liters of kerosene, 5 kgs of sugar per month from a nearby ration shop. So in this image we see women buying grains from a ration shop. Ration shops were introduced in India in the 1940s against the backdrop of Bengal famine. This was revived in the wave of acute food shortage during the 1960s before the Green Revolution. So in the wake of high incidence of poverty levels as reported by the NSSO, three important food intervention programs were introduced. So these three public food intervention programs are Public Distribution System for Food Grains, Integrated Child Development Services and Food for Work. And over the years, several new programs have been launched and several have been restructured with a growing experience of administering the programs. Till date, there are several poverty alleviation programs in rural areas which explicit the food components also. So, with programs such as public distribution system and poverty alleviation system, they are exclusive food security programs and they enhance the food security. Employment programs also contribute to the food security by increasing the income of the poor. So next is the current status of public distribution system. This public distribution system important step taken by the government of India towards ensuring the food security. In the beginning, this PDS system was universal without discrimination between the poor and the non-poor people. But over the years, the system of public distribution it has been revised and it become more efficient and targeted. So in the year 1992, revamped public distribution system was introduced in 1700 blocks in the country. So the target was to provide the benefit of PDS system to remote and backward areas as well. So from the June 1997, a renewed attempt that is target public distribution system was introduced to adopt the principle of targeting the poor in all the areas. So for the first time, a differential price policy was adapted for the poor and the non-poor. In 2000 year, two special schemes were launched. Antyodaya Anna Yojana AAY and Annapurna scheme APS with special target groups that is poorest of the poor, indigent senior citizens. Functioning of these two schemes was linked with the existing network of the PDS. Important features of the public distribution system are summarized in the table below. So this public distribution system, it was proved to be a most effective instrument of government policy over the years and it stabilized the prices and made food available to the consumers at an affordable price. So this has been instrumental in averting the widespread hunger and famine by supplying food from the surplus regions of the country to the deficit regions. Prices have been under revision in favor of the poor households in general. So this minimum support price system and procurement, this contributed to the increase in food grain production and it provided income security to the farmers. But this system also faced criticism on several grounds. Instances of hunger were still prevalent despite so many granaries overflowing with grains. So FCI godowns are overflowing with grains and some grains are being rotten away and eaten by rats. So this chart shows us the rising stock of food grains. So this chart shows us the different schemes, their year of introductions, their latest volume and the cost per kg. So in the year 2014, the stock of wheat and rice with FCI was 65.3 million tons, which was much more than the minimum buffer. So these remained consistently higher than the buffer norm. And then the situation improved with distribution of food grains under different schemes, which were launched by the government. There is a general consensus that high level of buffer stocks of food grains is undesirable and can be wasted. So this storage of massive food has been responsible for carrying high cost, wastage and deterioration of grain quality. So freezing of this MSP for few years should be considered. Increased food grain procurement at enhanced MSP is the result of the pressure exerted by the leading food grain producing states such as Punjab, Haryana and Andhra Pradesh. This image shows us the level of buffer stocks versus the norms of rice and wheat in million tons. Procurement of grains in few prosperous regions are mainly of two crops, that is wheat and rice. So people or other farmers, they also diverted their land from production of coarse grains, which is the staple of the poor, to the production of rice and because FCA was mainly procuring rice and wheat. Other farmers also shifted their crops to production of rice and wheat. So because there was lot of cultivation, the intensive utilization of water in the cultivation of rice, it led to environmental degradation and fall in the water levels also. And this was threatening the sustainability of agricultural development in these states. So according to the NSSO report number 558, the per capita income per person has declined from 6.3 kg to 5.9 kg. So per month consumption has declined from 6.38 kg to 5.99 kg, 98 kg. Per person per month consumption of rice in urban India declined from 4.71 kg to 4.19 kg. So per capita consumption of public distribution system rice doubled in rural India and increased by 66% in urban India. Per capita consumption of PDS wheat has doubled since 2004-2005 in both rural and urban areas. PDS dealers sometimes found resorting to malpractices like diverting the grains to open market so that they can get better margin and selling poor quality grains at the ration shops and then not opening the ration shops regularly. So it is common to find that ration shops regularly have unsold stocks of poor quality grain. This was a big problem. When ration shops are unable to sell, massive stock of food grains pile up with the FCI. And there is another factor which led to the decline of PDS. Every family, poor and unpoor, had a ration card with a fixed quota of items and they were sold at same price to every family. Three type of cards and the range of prices do not exist today. Large number of families could buy food grains from the ration shops to subject to a fixed quota. These families included low-income families whose incomes are higher than the below poverty line. Now with the target PDS system of three different prices, any family above the poverty line gets little discount at the ration shop. The price for APL family is almost as high as open market price and there is little in role of cooperatives in food security. especially in the southern and western part of the country. These cooperatives play an important role. So these cooperative societies, they set up shops to sell the low priced goods to the poor people. For example, out of all fair price shops running in Tamil Nadu, 94% are being run by cooperative societies. In Delhi, Mother Dairy is providing milk and vegetables to the consumers at a controlled rate given by government. Amul is one successive story in milk production from Gujarat. This Amul brought white revolution in the country, which increased the milk production and ensured food security to different parts of society. In Maharashtra Academy of Development Science, it facilitated a network for NGO for setting different grain banks in different regions. So this ADS organizes training and capacity building programs on food security for NGO people. Grain banks are slowly taking shape in Maharashtra. So ADS puts efforts to set up grain banks to facilitate replication through other NGOs and influence the government policies on food security. So ADS Grain Bank program, it is a successful and innovative food security